I rise today to speak in support of Senate Bill 945 and ask that my remarks be printed in the journal.
Without objection, so ordered.
First, I want to thank the bill sponsor and committee chair for their important work on this piece of legislation. My younger daughter turned 1 year old on Tuesday. We celebrated, but honestly, the past week and a half has been really challenging as I watched the news and felt the pain of so many of my neighbors and community members and my own family. I've been thinking a lot about what the world will be like when my daughters grow up. Will the protests of today still be needed 30 years from now? Will their friends who are Black boys be seen as a threat when they become young Black men simply because of their race? Will my Black and Asian daughters feel a sense of safety or fear when they encounter a police officer? Will any of their friends be a victim of excessive use of force? When we come to the Capitol to serve our communities, there's no bigger motivator than our children, or for some of you, your grandchildren. We are here to shape the future for them. The structural change that we work on here can hopefully lead to cultural change as well. Ensuring that police officers are trained on implicit bias, de-escalation, behavioral health, and procedural justice is an important step forward. We can't in one day change someone's subconscious or their deeply held unconscious biases, but if we can change what goes through an officer's mind when they encounter one of our community members who doesn't look like them, we could change the outcome. I'm really grateful that this legislation, as reported out of committee, requires continuing education for police officers beginning in January 2022. In April of 2017, the Michigan Commission on Law Enforcement Standards issued a report on fostering public trust in law enforcement here in Michigan. One of the recommendations in the report was to require in-service training for all licensed officers and to connect the requirement to licensure. The report pointed out that Michigan is one out of only 6 states that do not require continuing education. By requiring law enforcement officers to receive continuing training, we can make sure that they know up-to-date practices related to officer safety, use of force, community policing, and so much more. This could dramatically change what police and community interactions look like here in Michigan. A few days ago, I felt that I needed to explain to my 4-year-old daughter, in whatever terms I could figure out might be age-appropriate, what was going on in our country right now. I told her that police officers are supposed to protect us, and that some officers really hurt someone, and many people are angry and sad. She said to me that good police officers should have stopped the bad ones. I couldn't agree more. And I hope that ongoing comprehensive training will put us on a path towards a reality in which my daughter's vision of a different kind of justice system comes true. In 1967, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. gave a speech called The Other America. He said, "In the final analysis, a riot is the language of the unheard. And what is it that America has failed to hear? It has failed to hear that the promises of freedom and justice have not been met. And it has failed to hear that large segments of white society are more concerned about tranquility and the status quo than about justice, equality, and humanity. And so, in a real sense, our nation's summers of riots are caused by our nation's winters of delay. And as long as America postpones justice, we stand in the position of having these recurrences of violence and riots over and over again. Social justice and progress are the absolute guarantors of riot prevention. Colleagues, we are in an important moment in history. How do we want to be remembered? Passing this bill would mean progress towards that social justice that Dr. King speaks of and towards equity. I hope that we will continue our collective conversation in our communities and here at the Capitol about bold changes that can move us towards a new vision of justice. Let's all do our part to make sure history looks back on us favorably. Thank you.